Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Health Talk TT. I am Cindy Isaac, pharmacist and founder of Health Talk TT. Now when I started Health Talk TT about 2 years ago, I started on the premise of having public speaking engagements, speaking to large crowds, live audiences, doing PowerPoint presentations. And that's what I did for the last 2 years. And now our normal has been redirected. Our normal has been changed. And I have been challenged to find a different medium from which to share health information, drug information, health and wellness tips, because that's what I'm passionate about. Yes, as a pharmacist, I get to practice that every single day, but there's so many people out there that need information about their health, and I know would appreciate it, but they don't have access to it. And that's the premise on which Health Talk TT started. Now, if you know me, you know that technology is not my forte. Having to do a video and edit and cuts and fix, and it is not my forte. It's not my place of expertise, but I have the passion to share this information, and I have to change what I have comfortably normally know for the last 2 years as Health Talk TT. I've had to redesign what my intentions have been so that information continues to go out and Health Talk TT, continues to live on. So today it will be remiss of me not to deal with aspects of COVID-19 as I'm launching the YouTube channel during a time that we have been restricted to our homes mostly because of COVID-19. One of the things that I want to talk about, the first thing that I want to talk about is hydroxychloroquine. Yes, I'm a druggist, so I'm going to talk about a drug. Yes. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about hydroxychloroquine because I'm hearing some things that really concerns me about it. I know that we have been cautioned to not stock up, to not buy it unnecessarily if you're not a rheumatoid arthritis patient or a lupus patient, but you're hearing this information and you may not know, well, what's the big deal? You know, it have enough out there. So I want to shed some light on it. And I want you to join me today. Take some notes, tag a friend, like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, because Health Talk TT is not restricted to just a COVID-19 topic. I would be dealing with topics outside of COVID-19 once this passes over or before it passes over, because life must go on. Yes, so let's start with hydroxychloroquine, the history of this drug. Where did it come from? So before hydroxychloroquine there was chloroquine, and chloroquine was discovered somewhere in the 1930s, and it was kind of shelved, kind of ignored for a while because of its high toxicity level. After some time, World War came around and there was a malarial breakout, and everybody was succumbing to malaria and they needed a cure, needed a treatment, and hence chloroquine came back on the market. So hydroxychloroquine is actually a derivative of chloroquine. They're not the same drug, they work very similarly, they have the same uses, but they are not the same in that hydroxychloroquine is not as toxic as chloroquine. It is still toxic, mind you, but not as toxic as chloroquine. And because of that, it means that hydroxychloroquine can be used at higher doses for a prolonged period of time. Now, what about Plaquenil? What is that? So I know you may have been hearing about Plaquenil as well. Plaquenil is just the brand name or the trade name for hydroxychloroquine. So they are the same thing, but you can get hydroxychloroquine in many other brands outside of Plaquenil. Okay. So moving on, I will be glancing down at my notes so I can keep on track. Moving on, what are some of the adverse effects or side effects of hydroxychloroquine? Now, I know you're thinking that every single drug has side effects, and as a pharmacist, I'll be the first to tell you, yes. I'm just sharing these with you because I've been hearing that there are persons who are using the drug, as prophylaxis, meaning prevention, or just in case, they don't want to get COVID. And I want you to be aware of what are some of the dangers associated with this specific drug, right? So abdominal pains, headaches, dizziness, and vomiting are just a few, but it could affect your heart as well, and because of its high toxicity, it could definitely affect your retina, your eyes. Actually, usually persons who have been on hydroxychloroquine for a long period of time, they are advised to do tests with their ophthalmologist, just to make sure that their eye health is not compromised while being on the medication. Of course, if you don't know this, and you may not have known it if you're not exposed to the drug before, you may be using it, misusing it, abusing the drug, not knowing of the dangers that lie ahead, right? And I want to prevent that. I don't want persons out here carelessly using any type of medication, yeah? So moving on, you may want to know what is the link between rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and hydroxychloroquine. And here's why we are cautioning persons to not stock up and hoard the drug and to really make it available for the patients that need it. Patients who have lupus and have rheumatoid arthritis, both of which are inflammatory disease states, hydroxychloroquine works for them because not only is it an anti-malarial drug, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties. A matter of fact, hydroxychloroquine is known as a non-biological DMARD, and DMARD is an acronym for disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drug. So it belongs to that class as well, and that's why persons who have RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis, they would need it. When their joints are swollen and they're in pain and such discomfort, it works for them. And for those who have lupus, also inflammatory, when they have flares and there's pain and there's skin rashes and there's also the accumulation of inflammation around the lining of their heart and lungs, they also need hydroxychloroquine. So does it work well for them? Yes. Should you be using it as someone who is not diagnosed with any of these? I'll advise against it. I don't think it's safe. Now, the drug was mentioned because research has been done on it, and like a long list of other medications. Because the truth and fact in, pharmaceutical chemists, scientists, doctors all around the world are trying their very best to find a treatment that works. So it's easier to look in the archives of drugs that we already have approved to see, okay, could it be used for this as well? Could it also treat or prevent COVID-19 as well? So they're looking through the archives and they're doing their best to come up with a solution. Now, in studies in vitro, meaning in test tubes out of human body, it has shown some promise. Yes, in inhibiting the COVID virus. But in vivo, which means is in bodies, it's still a matter of trial and error. Now, as a pharmacist, what I pay attention to is the guidelines for clinical practice. How long should this drug be used for? At what strength should it be used? And how frequent should it be administered? So that it could result in, give you the results that you need, give you some pharmaceutical effect. So it's not about just taking a tablet. We need to know how much of it to take, how often to take it, and how long to take it for. And for that to be done and for us to be safe using any medication, research needs to continue. So what I would advise is that now you know a little bit more about hydroxychloroquine. Of course, there's a lot more to know about it, but this is just the basic information on it. And I really do hope that it's enough information for you all to be a little bit more responsible with what you do, whether you take it or not, and with your health. So thank you for tuning in here at HealthTalk TT. It's very fulfilling to know that I could still help someone out there. So I'm encouraging you all to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave comments below on topics that you think you would like me to address, to deal with. I do have my own list of topics, but it's ever changing because information about COVID is ever changing. Information about health is ever changing. But I do want to highlight health literacy. I want us to pay more attention to our health here in Trinidad and Tobago. We need to do better, and it's going to take, if it takes one citizen at a time, one person at a time, I will continue to do the little that I can do to effect some change in this regard. So thank you for joining, and see you next week, hopefully the same time on the same day, as I share more information, more health information with you.